For the past half-decade or so, the Knicks have been among the worst teams in the entire NBA. Despite hopeful additions of players like Kristaps Porzingis, they could never seem to put the pieces together to really make anything meaningful happen. Until one man came along. A man by the name of Julius Randle spun his way into New York and was one of the cornerstones that's ultimately reshaping the franchise's culture. But who is Julius Randle and where did he come from? Has he always been this good? Was he expected to be good when he first came to the league? Welcome to the second part of my series where I take a player that was relatively unknown and talk about who they are, where they came from, and why you should be paying attention to them. So without further ado, this is Who is Julius Randle and Why Should You Care? Julius Randle is a 26-year-old professional basketball player who plays primarily the power forward position. He started his basketball career at Prestonwood Christian Academy, and he was considered a top 5 recruit. He was in the same class with players like Andrew Wiggins, Jabari Parker, Andrew Harrison, and Aaron Gordon. Randle's athleticism was a big draw when he was in high school. In 2012, he won the Under Armour Under-24 dunk contest. He went on to be named one of the MVPs of the Elite 24 game. His team won largely due to his 27 points in their 164-138 victory. He was considered by Rivals.com to be the number 1 power forward in the nation and the number 2 recruit overall. Unfortunately, he did hit a roadblock during his senior season. He fractured his foot playing in a tournament, and he would end up being sidelined for 3 months. He returned in March 2013 to lead his team to its 3rd state title in 4 years. During his senior season, Randle averaged 32.5 points and 22.5 rebounds per game. Those are absolutely absurd numbers for a high schooler. Randle ended up committing to the University of Kentucky and was named as one of the 10 semifinalists for the Naismith College Player of the Year award. He played an integral role in helping Kentucky reach the national championship, even though they would ultimately lose to UConn. During college, his stats were 15 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists per game. He would forego his 3 years of eligibility and declare for the NBA draft following his freshman season. According to NBADraft.net, he had a very strong upper body and a reliable left hand. He finished well around the rim with contact, and he's dangerous in the pick and roll and the pick and pop because of his ability to hit mid-range jumpers. Randle had some very obvious strengths, but there were definitely some worries with him. The weaknesses included the fact that Randle often resorted to bully ball. His size is a bit too small for the power forward position, and his ability to create shots for himself was questioned. He wound up being selected 7th overall by the Los Angeles Lakers behind Marcus Smart and ahead of Nick Stauskas. Other notable players selected over Randle were Andrew Wiggins, Jabari Parker, Aaron Gordon, and Dante Exum. The Lakers were hopeful that Randle could come in and have an immediate impact on the team. However, after only 14 minutes of official NBA playing time, Randle broke his right tibia during his first NBA game. He would undergo surgery and miss the rest of the season. He would make his return to the Lakers the following season, averaging 11 points and 10 rebounds per game. Randle progressed rather slowly throughout his tenure with the Lakers and arguably took a couple steps back at times during his 4 seasons in Los Angeles. After 4 seasons in LA, the Lakers renounced Randle, and Randle would go on to sign a 2-year, $18 million contract with the Pelicans. He would score 25 points off the bench for New Orleans in his first game as a Pelican. He would average a career high in scoring and 3-point shooting during his 1 season in New Orleans, with 21.4 points per game on 34% shooting from 3. Randle was receiving praise for being a stretch 4 that could create his own shot and run the pick and roll. The praise that Randle received resulted in him declining his player option at the end of the 2019 season to become a free agent. The assumption here is that he believed he deserved more than $9 million a year, which, for his production, wasn't necessarily inaccurate at the time. He went on to sign with the New York Knicks. His first season was pretty rough, to say the least. He took a step back in scoring, regressing to 19.5 points per game, and his shooting efficiency also dipped down. He returned to being a sub 30% three-point shooter, and he had some struggles in general with finishing at the rim. His shot selection was questionable, and it seemed like he was resorting back to the bully ball that scouts had concerns over when he was in college. This season, though, we've seen Julius Randle revive his career. He's scoring 23 points per game on great efficiency, and he's pulling down almost 11 rebounds per game. He's also dishing the ball fairly well, good for 5.5 assists a night. He is an infinitely better player this year. He's knocking down the three ball at over a 40% clip, and he's also creating shots for his teammates. His defense is still not really anything to write home about, but that's why it's great that Tibbs is their coach. This team is operating as a defensively cohesive unit, and they have one of the best defensive ratings in the entire NBA. The player that was once considered a one-trick pony, only able to hit spin moves and finish poorly at the rim, he was never known to be a reliable three-point shooter, but it's clear that he's worked hard to improve, and now he's hitting them at a borderline elite level. All of this is being reflected in the Knicks win-loss column. At the time of this recording, the Knicks are the 5th seed in the East, sitting at 18-18. At the beginning of the season, everyone expected the Knicks to be bottom feeders, vying for the lottery. Now they're a clear playoff team, and Julius Randle has played an integral role in establishing this new Knicks culture. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. So as always, if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe. Something as simple as a like helps me out a lot, so I would greatly appreciate it. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. I post multiple times a week. And anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.